The time is 6:23 a.m. Good morning. So it's Thursday, and this is vlog 16. Yes, I did say 16. 15 was the Devils. Vlog 16 was the Devils home opener, and I caught about an hour and 15 minutes worth of video, so I put that off to the weekend because that's going to take me a long time to review all of the footage and edit it the way I want it. So that's just going to take too much time, so I figured I would leave that one out for the weekend when I have some time, and that I'll be able to edit it just right and post that. But because there's so much footage for me to go through, that's probably going to be a pretty long one. It'll probably be more than a 10-minute vlog for sure. Wednesday I was recovering from that evening, plus still being not, I had like a cold over the weekend, and it was kind of kicking my butt a little bit, but just in the tired sense. I feel a little better today. I still feel a little tired though, so we'll see. Apparently we're getting some snow tomorrow night, and tomorrow night is another Devils game. I think it's Devils versus the Washington Capitals. So I haven't really decided if I'm going yet. I'm actually, I have to pay attention to the weather report and see. They say, one weather station says, we're going to get 3 to 6 inches, and another one says, oh, we'll maybe get 1 or 2 at the most. My guys may wonder, well, 2 inches of snow is nothing. I'm like, that's true. I just don't like to take the chance of driving in any inclement weather only to be hit by some schmuck that doesn't know how to drive in this weather. The last few mornings, the lows have been in the low teens. So that's been very cold. But Wednesday I actually had a lazy day. Although I did work, I was working all day, but I didn't have to drive into the office yesterday. So I worked all day. I was done at a reasonable hour, and I had some dinner, and then I just laid in bed watching some YouTube, catching up on those things, and then heading to bed a little early. I've been having some issues actually with my website, www.devilsfan.net, if you guys haven't gone to look. My hosting provider is having some issues reaching that website from certain locations, which is interesting because everybody I ask says they have no issue getting there. I'm the only one that has the issue, which is funny because I'm the webmaster, so I should have access to my own website, one would think. And I had to go get technical and start doing trace routes and DNS entry changes and all this technical jibble-jabble just to figure out what the hell's wrong with my website. But it's not the code. It's either somewhere in the hosting provider or somewhere in the routes between, the New York area to Texas, where the hosting provider is. And I escalated out to my hosting provider's technical support over the weekend, and we've been back and forth trying to troubleshoot. But essentially they're saying, it's not us, you have to go to your ISP. Your ISP is doing something. Okay. So I went to my ISP, who is Verizon Fios. Now, I love Verizon, but they make it impossible to get a hold of a human. That's the one thing. I mean, they're such a large entity. They have wireless, they have TV, they have internet, they have, you name it, they have it. And you're just trying to get a simple question answered by somebody. And when you go to their support site, it's like, it's a whole site dedicated to, okay, well, if it's this, you should call this. And if it's this, you should do that. No, I just want to ask a quick question and get a quick answer. So I was reading online, and apparently they have a Twitter site for the support, for all Verizon support. So I decided to take a chance and tweet my question, and I got a pretty quick response by a technician. And we went back and forth and troubleshooted. And he was able to let me know that it's not anything on the Verizon routing, but it's nothing on the hosting provider either. It's somewhere in the middle. Because, not to get too technical, but when you're routing a website, it's routing between router to router to router to router, and it traverses all the way to the end. So you have a starting point and you have an ending point. And there's multiple hops throughout the way. And one of those hops is blocking or having some issues with resolving the host name for devilsfan.net. So I said, okay. So I got the IP address, and then I looked at it, and it's not the hosting provider's IP, and it's not, obviously not Verizon's IP, because they told me it's not theirs. So, what do you do? I sent an email to whoever owned the IP address, hoping that they'll respond, but most likely they won't, because I'm not a customer of theirs, they're not a customer of mine, so there's no interest in them resolving my issue, because I'm not paying them anything. But I sent them an email anyway, and I attached some trace routes, so maybe they'll figure it out. And then I also went back to the hosting provider, and I said, hey, my ISP says it's not them, it has to be somewhere on the route between me and you. And then I gave them the IP address that they told me, and I said, is this IP a hosting provider that you partner with or something to provide your ISP internet services? And they responded and they said, oh, we see you have hundreds of email connections into our system, and that could be a potential reason as to why your website keeps having intermittent issues. Apparently, my hosting account has a limited number of simultaneous connections allowed. And when I exceed that amount, the system actually goes in and kills processes to bring me under that threshold. So apparently I can only have 25 processes running at any given time before they'll go in and start killing things. And it's not them a personal thing, but it's directed by the system, I guess. And because it's a shared account, a shared hosting provider, there's probably other accounts on there as well. So they want to make it a fair thing for everybody. So I understand their logic, but I want to understand how email has anything to do with website, because although I host my domain through them, so they manage my email, my web, and anything else, I don't understand why, if I have too many email connections, that would shut down my website. My guess is that they host both of these on the same server, which is kind of silly, I guess, but that's how they do it. So you would think you would want to have your mail server running as a separate thing, and have your website just dedicated to web. But that's just a geek talking. So they're saying, oh, you should just limit your mail connections to us and see if that resolves your issue. So of course I have Apple everywhere, so I have a MacBook, I have an iPad, I have an iPhone, and all of these are connecting to my mail servers, to my mail accounts. And I said, okay, well, let me just try it for fun and see if that will fix it. So I disabled my MacBook Pro from getting any mail. I just turned it off. I didn't open the mail application. I just left it alone. And I turned off the iPad so it wouldn't go out and grab email. So the only system that was accessing mail was my iPhone. And I waited half a day, and then I checked. I went online on the account to see how many processes were running. 2 processes were running. And of course I went to my website, and magically I got there. So what they say is probably true. So last night I enabled my mail program on my MacBook, and I checked maybe within an hour, there were 14 connections. Now I wonder, why would there be 14 connections? I only have 2 email addresses that I use for my personal use that I check. So really there should only be 2 processors for each device. So if there's an iPad, an iPhone, and a MacBook, that would be 6. But there were 14. And I hadn't even turned on the iPad yet. The iPad is still off, actually. So I'm looking and I'm trying to troubleshoot my mail application, and it looks like there's a setting in there where even though I tell it to check only every half an hour, it checks as soon as there's a mail message. But I suspect that actually may help a little. Sorry for the long-winded story, but I'm just a little annoyed that I'm paying for a hosting provider to provide, to host on my domain, and I have to limit the connections into the system. So if I have 1,000 mail accounts, I would never be able to check my mail, because every time you check your mail, you're establishing a connection into their system, and if it's more than 25, your connection will be dropped. So that doesn't make any sense to me. The home opener for the Devils was really, really cool. I had gone with my friend Ray, and you guys will see that in Vlog 15. But it was a good time. Apparently they were sold out, although it didn't look like it to me from the seats. There were lots of empty seats, although Ray would argue that, but I saw lots of empty seats. And we won, which was great. Friday also is the day that I can actually inquire about All-Star tickets. This year the Mets are hosting the All-Star game this season. Because I'm a subscriber to a ticket package, I get an opportunity to purchase All-Star tickets, and they call it a strip, but it's a strip of activities for like 5 days. So I am curious to see how much that's going to cost, but I definitely would like to go. That's kind of something like, once in a lifetime kind of thing, where we're hosting an All-Star game. A lot of things going on, but I'm at the office, so I guess I'll leave you guys be, and I will catch up with you guys later. Hey guys, so a quick lunch break. Well, I guess not as quick as it needs to be, but a lunch break nonetheless. It is very cold out. Actually, the temperature right now is 26, but it's starting to get windy now, so it still feels just as cold as it does this morning. I'm in the mood for chili. Just on a cold day like this, it would be something worth having. Through the magic of video, it is now evening. Yeah, it's about 6 p.m. or so, and of course I'm sitting in loads of fun traffic. But the rest of the afternoon went very quickly, so I'm trying to get home in a reasonable hour so I can have some time to digest my day before I have to work a little more. And then I actually have to head to bed because I have a physical therapy appointment tomorrow morning at 7:40 a.m. So I guess for now, there's not really much else to report, so I will check you in a bit. Hey guys, so just wanted to say a quick good night. Not really much happened after I got home. I had some dinner, I worked, and I need to go to bed because I have to get up early tomorrow for the physical therapist. But for now, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like my videos, share my videos, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a good one.